Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of Andrewsfootball.com, and this next video I'm going to break down every single game of the week, and I'm going to pick 3 games that you can go ahead and invest in if you're in Las Vegas. I have a buddy of mine who's in Vegas right now. I'm going to give you 3 games to go ahead and put some action down on, and 3 games hopefully will be winners. Right now I'm currently picking at 80%, so I'm going to risk that. Keep in mind last week I had 2 predictions. Basically, the way it works is that I have roughly $500 in my Westgate account. I thought after filling out the I-9 paperwork, I would be able to put action down while here at home. Unfortunately, if I'm not in the state of Nevada, I am not able to legally put down action, so I have to give you a pretend situation. However, I have another Vegas trip already lined up. I will let you know I'm in Vegas, and I will let you know when I put some real action down. Before I go ahead and break the games down, I kind of wanted to explain Andrewsfootball.com standings. Almost every site will have power rankings. I hate these. I could sit here and talk about how much I hate these till I'm blue in the face. Same thing with college football preseason polls. In my personal opinion, college football should not have a single poll till about week 8. But that's the nature of the beast, and I got a lot of work to do in making this video, so I can't go on there. But here's the thing with my standings, the way they work, it's pure math. Every 2-0 team is at the top, then Tampa Bay, then Miami, then all the 1-1 teams, and then all the 0-2 teams. The tiebreaker is points. The point differentials, tiebreaker. If 2 teams are tied, I go for points 4. But if you know me as a person, you know that I value defense, but I'm choosing points 4. No particular reason, but that's tiebreaker. Shouldn't happen too often. If you follow me, you know that I told you to take San Francisco at 2.5. It jumped up to 3. And if you listen to me, and well, let's backtrack. Let's be honest here. Told you to avoid this game. And the reason why is nobody saw 41-39. Nobody saw that at all. That was a wild game. It was a fun game. It wasn't expected, but I did say San Francisco 2.5 and ended up jumping up to 3. So I was right. But again, I advised against betting on that game because that was a crazy game. So the first game I am going to talk about will be Jacksonville in London against the Baltimore Ravens. This is one I would put money down on. Last week I said 300 on one, 200 on another with a $500 budget. I would only put maybe 50 to 100 down. There's 3 games. I don't feel super confident about either one of these 3, but this one I like, and I'll tell you why. 3.5 points, I feel like it's a good line for Baltimore. I would obviously like better at 3, but even though the game's in London, technically it's a home game. For Jacksonville, Jacksonville's played a few games over in London. The owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars struck a deal with the NFL to have his team play over in London for the next couple of years. I think this year's the last year, maybe next year. Not 100% sure about that. The thing is, though, a veteran team like Baltimore will not have a problem going to London. And the big thing I like about this game, and this is why you follow Andrewsfootball.com, is you get the little bits of information, and I'm also going to give you a little bit of knowledge here too. Cam Robinson, who is the left tackle, starting left tackle, he's a rookie out of Alabama. If any team knows Cam Robinson, it's the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Baltimore Ravens will have kind of an unfair advantage in this game because if you know anything about the Baltimore Ravens, Ozzie Newsome, their general manager, graduated from the University of Alabama. He's been a long-time general manager. He loves drafting Alabama players. He spent a lot of time watching this kid because he was a true freshman starter for Alabama. And the Baltimore Ravens drafted 2 players from Alabama. One of them, Tim Williams, worked against them quite a bit in practice. So I think that if he has any mistakes, tendencies, they're going to have kind of an inside scoop. That's the reason why I really like 3.5. And one other thing, basically, the reason why I think this is such a huge advantage is because the left tackle is such an important part of a team. in my personal opinion, I think it's quarterback and then just left tackles right there. I can even make a strong case that the left tackle is the most important position on the football field. But I think quarterback's just a hair higher. But here's the thing. This is the difference between a casual fan and a knowledgeable fan. This is why you follow Andrewsfootball.com, is to give you information. There was a girl in one of my fantasy football leagues. She's a Dallas Cowboy fan, not a follower of Andrewsfootball.com. She tried to tell me she knew more about the Dallas Cowboys than myself, and the way the conversation went on is finally she's asked me, well, who's the best player on the Dallas Cowboys? I told her it's Tyron Smith. She goes, who? She kind of realized as soon as she didn't know who that was that she pretty much, lost that debate. But that's the difference between people that play fantasy football, that play Madden, and people that actually know the NFL like myself, because I can tell you that the left tackle is a very important part of football. As a matter of fact, I can spend the next hour talking about how important left tackle is, but I'm going to break down the rest of these games. Because of that matchup, I really feel like Baltimore has a slight unfair advantage, if you will. 3.5 is not a great number. I would have been happier at 2.5 or 3, of course, but take Baltimore and 3.5 in London. If you wake up late, hopefully you'll wake up with money there. Next game is I like Indianapolis 1.5 against Cleveland. Indianapolis is home. I would say put action down on Indianapolis, but I like the way Cleveland's defense has played the last 2 weeks. They've played aggressive. They play fast. The reason why I like Indianapolis, and I'm leaning towards possibly putting some action down on them, I'm going to say no as my final answer. But Cleveland's a young team that really makes a lot of mistakes. And Indianapolis is a veteran team who I think played pretty well against Arizona. However, I kind of want to watch both these teams a little more. But I feel pretty confident that Indianapolis and 1.5 is a pretty safe bet. I actually like Indy to win the game, but so you get 1.5 points. I will say this often: if you have two teams that are about even, and you got one that's a home dog, take the home dog. Next game, Chicago's another home dog, 7.5 against Pittsburgh. This is kind of going to be a weird one. I cannot give you a better explanation other than it's just a hunch. I like Chicago. You get 7.5 points. I like Pittsburgh to win the game. But one thing I've noticed about the Steelers, they kind of start off slow, and the Bears have a pretty good defense. So I could see this as where, if you remember earlier in the last year, Miami started off 1-3 and then beat Pittsburgh at home. I think it was like 38-16. And Pittsburgh's the type of team that kind of seems to start slow. I know they beat up Minnesota, a pretty good team, but they had a backup quarterback. Don't feel great about that game, but take Chicago 7.5. You may be pleasantly surprised. Next game is Miami. You're a 6-point dog at the Jets. Start off 6.5. I can't believe it dropped. The over-under went up, though, from 42.5 to 43. I like Miami in this one. The Jets kind of are a train wreck, but I do like their defense. They have some good speed, some good players, but their weakness is I don't like their corners at all. And they also have 2 rookies as safeties, a guy like Cutler. If you get the good Cutler, this could be a blowout. You get the bad Cutler, I still think the Dolphins can run the ball enough, and the Jets' offense is a complete dumpster fire. So I like Miami in 6. Next game I got Denver's a 3-point favorite at Buffalo. Both teams have great defenses. The reason why I would take Denver is that I think Denver has a slightly better defense, which is pretty. Most people would tell you it's kind of surprising, but I like Denver's defense in this game. So take Denver, take 3 points. Next game I got Houston at Miami. Houston's a 14-point underdog. I like Houston in this one. Of course, New England's going to win, but I think Houston makes this close. And the reason why is that you got 2 touchdowns, and Houston has the better defense. It's just the offense that's bad. But as I've said before, I don't think New England has a great defense. So I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. So take Houston 14 points. I feel pretty good about that. Next game I got the Saints. They're a 5.5-point dog at Carolina. I'm going to throw something out there. I think Saints win this game. Simply put, I know Carolina's defense is good, but you got different type of dog in Drew Brees. I know the defense is beat up, but Carolina's offense is not very good. I know there's a lot of talk about Christian McCaffrey, and I like him too. But this is a game. I don't see the Saints going 0-3. I really don't. I actually like the Saints to win this one. Take 5.5. I wouldn't put action on it. The reason why, but if you do put the action, make a big bet. Pick the Saints to win. But like I said, this wasn't one of my three, but I am coming up to the second one of my games I would put action on. Tampa Bay's a 2.5-point favorite at Minnesota. 2.5 is a great number. Minnesota's going to roll out Case Keenum again. I think in the Steelers, I think they won 27-9, if my memory serves me correctly. I think Tampa Bay's about the same type of team. I pretty much see a similar outcome. Minnesota is a good team. With Case Keenum as their quarterback, I think they're about 500, maybe a sub-500 team. Bradford kind of boosts them up a little bit. Minnesota would need their defense to really come through big. And I think Tampa Bay's a playoff team this year. So I take Tampa Bay 2.5. I feel good about that. I would put action on that one. Next game I got Atlanta, 3-point favorite at Detroit. This to me is a coin flip because I got two pretty good offenses. I think Atlanta's got the better offense, maybe the better defense. Detroit's got an interesting team all around. I think Atlanta's got the better team. In this game, it's probably going to be a shootout. So, 3 points isn't that big of a deal. It's a game I'd kind of avoid, but I'm very interested to watch that one. It's one of my favorite games I'm kind of looking forward to. Next game I got is the Giants. You get a 6-point line against the Giants. They're at Philadelphia. I also like the over on this game. The line's 42.5. The Giants have struggled on offense, but Odell Beckham's a lot healthier. Brandon Marshall hopefully starts playing better. I actually could see this being not a shootout, but 42.5 is a low number. I think the Giants kind of break free of their skid. I know they start slow, but this is a game they could win. I like them as 6-point dogs. I really do. This is one of my favorite games. Tennessee, they're a 2.5-point favorite at home against Seattle. This is really interesting because you got two teams that are very similar and very different all at the same time. You got two very mobile running quarterbacks, two power running games, and then two teams that have good defenses. But it's interesting because I really like the way the two defenses are built. You have in Pete Carroll's defense, he has a 4-3 defense. It's basically the same thing he did at USC. He just said, hey, give me big, fast, good athletes. We're not going to be complex. We're just going to punch you in the mouth. Best players play. Tennessee, on the other hand, under Dick LeBeau, has the 3-4 zone blitz, which is possibly the most complicated defense in the NFL. I would love to be able to break down diagrams on what they do, but it's extremely complex. I keep hearing from players when they talk about it, they say it takes anywhere between 2 to 3 years to really figure it out. Dick LeBeau's been there for 3 years. It's a big reason why I like Tennessee to win the AFC South this year. This is going to be a good matchup. I like Tennessee in this one. Next game, and this is the third game, and I was really hesitant to say this because it violates one of my big rules. As you can see, it's Red Friday. I'm wearing my Chiefs jersey, so betting on the Chiefs, huh? Well, I like this one, but I liked it a lot more. It opened up at 2.5. I would put action down immediately at 2.5. Now it's 3. I also like it's 47.5. I like the under on this game. I would put action on the Chiefs to be a 3-point favorite. I would put the Chiefs to cover. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a relatively lower scoring game. I could see this being 21-17 for Chiefs fans who think that this is going to be a blowout. I don't see that. But I think Chiefs will prevail. 47.5 is a big number. I kind of see this being something like 23-17. So I like the under, but definitely take Kansas City. So you got 3 games here. We'll see how I do. The last 3 games, I got Green Bay opened up as a 9-point favorite. Now they're 7.5, which is really interesting. I mean, they're at home against Cincinnati. I could see this being a blowout. Another thing I like is that the over/under. It started off at 45. It jumped up to 46.5. At 45, I would have said put action on the over, but at 46.5. But I like Green Bay at 7.5. I think this could be a game Green Bay blows them out. I got Oakland. They're a 3-point favorite at Washington. I really hate to say it because I put action on the Raiders under 9.5, and I'm looking bad, but the Raiders are looking pretty good on offense. I'm not impressed with their defense yet, but Washington's got a worse defense than them. This will be an entertaining game, so but I do like the Raiders in this one. And last game I got, and I feel bad. I really feel bad because it seems like I keep picking on the Cowboys. I had a buddy of mine call me today. He finally found my video. I haven't talked to him in a while. He's a Cowboys fan, and I'm picking against Dallas again. It's Monday night. I know they're at home, but I think Arizona's a good team. I really do, and I think the defense is better. You got some more veterans versus a younger team. The defense against Arizona bothers me some. So you get 3 points. I'm sorry. I think the Cowboys lose this game. So you get 3 points to play with. So I'm putting my 4-1 record on the line on 3 games I don't feel great about, but part of Andrewsfootball.com is putting your money where your mouth is. If I was in Vegas, I'd probably do maybe 100 on all 3. I don't feel nearly as confident about any one of those 3 games as I do the games I had last week. But to recap, Baltimore take the 3.5, Tampa Bay 2.5, and Kansas City 3. And that's all I have from Andrewsfootball.com. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to Andrews Football, my YouTube channel, and check me out on www.andrewsfootball.com.